Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of Articulate Thoughts, which is a personal blog of mine where I share some thoughts, ideas, experiences, and observations about conscious dance, which is a movement practice that uses dance as a form of moving meditation. And this episode is entitled Called because I feel called to share about my passion about conscious dance. But I think it's also a very interesting topic of conversations because, feeling called to a particular endeavor or a certain path or a life's purpose or personal legend, there's many names for it, but, just something where, you know, something that really lights someone's fire and really motivates them. And I guess you call it a passion that also fulfills, something internally as a individual as a whole, but also serving the greater good and you know, being a benefactor to people around them. I think that's what really defines, a calling or a personal legend or a passion or things of this nature. And I think at this point in my life, it's very obvious to me that conscious dance is that thing. And you know, I never really gave it a whole lot of thought. I just knew I was looking for something my entire life, but I never really knew what conscious dance was, or I didn't know it was this is what it was until fairly recently. And it all kind of clicked together when I was chatting with a friend, and they said to me, they were a dance artist, or they are a dance artist, and there was a lot of conflict between building a career and being financially stable, or following a passion and sharing artwork that came from the heart and really came from living life experiences and taking you know different perspectives and pain and um, transforming that into something creative and inspiring and putting that out into the world. Sometimes it's a very tough choice, and I think a lot of people get coaxed into taking a safer route that offers more stability financially. And there's no particular right or wrong answer, but it's just very interesting to see people's choices and endeavors and the reasons why they choose that particular path and what motivates them to go a certain direction. Anyways, so this friend shared with me that their their mom told them that when you look at the world and you see what's going on, whatever makes you angry, that should be your passion. That's the road that you should follow. And that was very intriguing to me because I never really heard that before. But as of late, I've been actually hearing it, and it's been coming into my experience more and more often about things that light a fire in you, things that are and emotions like anger and rage. That is I think is a perfect definition of a fire, having a fire lit. And I know for me personally, what a couple of my greatest achievements in my life were motivated largely by anger and rage, and that those emotions allow me to have a focus and a driving motivation to push forward and to just have extreme amount of focus and just get the tasks done, create the successful habits, and just kind of see it through. And I think it's really important for me to have this mindset because I'm kind of in a place of stagnation. To be honest, I have a lot of mixed feelings about some choices that I want to make. Um, the choice has already been made, but it's just more so finding the motivation and the focus there. And I really do feel called to pursue conscious dance and doing facilitation because there's certain things about the music industry and just how music is being used and interacted and the relationship between humans and music nowadays. um, Quite frankly, it does make me angry in a lot of ways because um, I really feel in a lot of ways music is being mistreated. It's more so now used as a form of entertainment and used in a lot of ways to feed the ego of individuals and performers and just kind of create a business out of something that is something very integral, very deep, very sacred to the human spirit. Um, I think it's not a coincidence when you kind of look at anthropology and ancient civilizations, whenever a group of humans established their foundations, they have shelter and food and community. The next thing they pursue is art and expression and usually gratitude for, the good things in their life, and that often typically manifests in its, primitive forms in the form of music and dance. And I don't think that's a coincidence at all. So, I think in modern day time, hundreds of generations, millennia of years later down the road, a lot of us live a lifestyle where we don't have, these access to our primitive nature, and we kind of lost our connection to the real connection of music, and lost in touch with our relationship with our bodies. And music and dance definitely open a gateway to our a relationship with our bodies. And I think a lot of us are imbalanced mentally, emotionally, physically, because of just whatever reasons. There's all sorts of different reasons, and everyone has their own like pain and suffering that society kind of influences and kind of in a way forces upon us. But you know that could be mitigated through the practice of dance and through any kind of movement practice that challenges ourselves to sweat and to exert effort into reaching a particular goal. Or you know um, I think that's one of the challenging things about dance, is like there is no particular goal in mind, but it's still a modality where that balance can be achieved and nurtured. um, I just kind of feel throughout my entire life like music has been a thing, and I never really able to really channel it in a way that felt good for me. And there have been times where it felt good for me, but there wasn't a thing of how can I expand this to help people. It's great that I could write a song and get in front of a crowd of 100 people and play it in front of them. That's great, but how does that really help them in their personal endeavors and in their personal lives, and how could it help them bring balance within themselves? And you know it's just one of those things where I feel in some way, shape, or form that conscious dance will allow me to achieve this, because I feel conscious dance has allowed me to bring balance to myself. It's not perfect and it's not the most consistent, but when I don't dance, it's very obvious that I do unravel in a way, and there is a certain level of stability and comfort that the dance does offer me. So I'm continuously investigating it and talking about it. And I know it's a new thing. It's a very abstract concept, and that's the motivation behind these videos and why I put these out. And I would only consider myself a practitioner for 3 years, because that's as long as I've been really practicing conscious dance on a regular basis. But I do look forward to expanding my knowledge and traveling around the world, and practicing with different communities and with different facilitators, and absorbing all the information and wisdom that these people have to offer. And I know that they're out there. And I only just hope that with my endeavors I could become a better practitioner, and in turn inspire other people, and perhaps one day become a facilitator and just direct and guide people through music. So you know this is what I just want to share today, because it's just the end of the year and things are kind of coming to a close this year, and these are the thoughts that have been in my head for the past couple days and weeks. And I just went to Bragg Creek and off in the mountains with a lovely group of people, and just did a celebration of the winter solstice. Just the darkest time of the year, and it's gonna be the longest, darkest day. But after that is the light. We can only look forward to more light during the days. So I thought it was appropriate time to kind of just share the feelings I have towards this endeavor of conscious dance. And um, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed my sharings and offerings. And if you guys do want to share the dance floor with me, I will be dancing at Alberta Ballet at the Occupy Your Body class with Ruth Levin this Sunday. And I'll be putting the link below if you want to check it out. So inshallah, I'll see you on the dance floor.